Cindy Gamrat had always denied any involvement in the scheme to cover up that affair with Todd Courser. Today, she came clean. Jay Maddock changed the name on his ID here a while ago, but he says there's still one thing on it that doesn't reflect who he really is. Andy, the suspects passed fake bills at 2 spots on West Edge, hitting them back-to-back on Saturday. A Constantine home destroyed after a nearby grass fire spreads overnight due to high winds. This is actually someone's front yard. All of this rain creating a watery mess for residents tonight. As California deals with year 4 of its drought, residents are being asked to cut back on their water use. Governor Jerry Brown made the order this week. Towns and cities are required to cut their use by 25%. The village has admitted responsibility, but it turns out it's the homeowner who will have to foot the bill for the damage. Tigers have been to the postseason for the last 4 years, but getting to the 5th year might be a challenge for them, and they're making some changes, aren't they, Brian?
Yeah, they are. And
crews are expected to be out here for quite some time battling this fire. We hope to bring you more information on this fire, but for now, live in Grand Rapids, Cheri Hardmon, News Channel 3. Yeah, Kate, Cindy Gamrat had always denied any involvement in the scheme to cover up that affair with Todd Courser. Today, she came clean.
Words cannot express the deep regret I have regarding some of the decisions I have made.
Her voice breaking at times, Cindy Gamrat apologized for the affair with colleague Todd Courser and the misuse of state resources to try to hide it.
While I did not know in advance of the specific and offensive things that were in the false email that was eventually circulated, I take full responsibility for my role in Representative Courser's plan and the resulting harm that it has caused. For this, I offer my genuine apology.
Last week, a House report found the pair to have been deceitful and dishonest for sending out a fake email about Courser's involvement with a male prostitute to divert attention away from their misconduct.
It was so much stress that I allowed my fear to take over.
The pair are facing expulsion. Today, Gamrat pleaded with the committee to allow her to stay in office.
I asked for and I'm willing to accept censure for several reasons, including seeking forgiveness for my transgressions, as well as avoiding further erosion of respect and faith in this great institution.
Today, the House counsel gave his recommendations on what should happen to Gamrat.
Gamrat receive a censure with severe conditions.
The House counsel also recommended that Courser be expelled. Courser did not speak today. He's expected to speak tomorrow. Coming up at 6, we'll hear more from Gamrat and also from members of that committee. Live in Lansing, Cheri Hardmon, News Channel 3. Just an unbelievable scene out here as I was exiting exit 77 here onto Grand River. One of the emergency workers who was blocking the exit told me it looked like a bomb went off down here. And when I arrived, that's exactly what it looks like. Just pure chaos down here. Buildings destroyed. Some of them you can't even recognize what they were. I'm standing here with a resident, Julie, who lives just around the corner from where this destruction took place, and she's going to tell us what she heard and saw inside of her apartment building. Julie, what was it like?
I went into my bathroom to take and put candles in there because I knew something was going to happen. So I came back out and you could see the rain going from side to side as opposed to up and down. The trees in the backyard were on their side. The rumbling, when they say it sounds like a freight train, that's exactly what it sounds like. And within 3 minutes, it was over. Went outside to assess the damage, and you can see that things just are unrecognizable at this point.
Did you hear sirens going off?
Nothing. We heard nothing. I mean, and normally you hear them testing it. It's very loud, and I heard nothing.
And you live really walking distance from all of this. What kind of damage to your apartment, if any?
There's no damage over there, just a few limbs down. I had pine needles stuck in my screen doors, but other than that, nothing over there.
What was going through your mind as you were listening to what was happening and then you come over here and see this?
I was scared to death. I mean, you don't know what to think. I mean, I was afraid to go outside. But yet I knew there were people out here, and I wanted to help to see if everyone was okay, and that's what we did. We walked around to make sure everyone in our area was okay.
All right, thank you so much, Julie. And surprisingly, we spoke to the Portland fire chief. He tells us there have been no fatalities recorded, just some minor injuries. When you take a look at all of this damage, that is so surprising to hear that they were able to get people out of these buildings and no one was seriously hurt. They do have dogs out here searching still, but they say that's just as a precaution. But for now, it looks like people got out of this destruction here okay. For now, live in Portland, Cheri Hardmon, back to you. Andy, the suspects passed fake bills at 2 spots on West Edge, hitting them back-to-back on Saturday.
Had me fooled because the marker worked.
Lacey Fulton is a clerk at the Wild Bill Tobacco Shop in Portage. It's one of two area businesses scammed out of cash by people passing counterfeit bills over the weekend.
She comes in, gets two Newports and some Swishers, and she gives me this $100 bill.
Fulton says she thought something was off with the bill.
And I'm looking at it, and I've never seen it before. It's, it's a little, real old looking, and I thought it was just old.
Which is why she says she made sure to check it, like this.
So I marked the pen on it, and it worked, and then I called my manager because it just didn't seem right to me. And, he was just like, the pen worked.
So she gave the woman her change, about $93, and the woman left.
And then her friend comes in 10 minutes later with the same one, and we were just like, something's up,
This time they refused. The woman took off, and they called police. It turns out the city of Portage wasn't the only area hit. Businesses in Battle Creek and Kalamazoo were also targeted.
The Battle Creek one we feel is connected, seeing the photographs of their incidents, and also the serial numbers on the bills match the ones in Portage and the ones in Battle Creek.
It's going to be 3871.
Fulton, who has only been on the job for a few weeks, says next time she'll go with her gut instead of just relying on those pins.
I didn't know what to do because it worked. I was so convinced that it was real.
So what can you do if the money passes the pen test? Coming up at 6, we'll talk to police about how you can better spot fake money. Live in Portage, Cheri Hardmon, News Channel 3. Jay Maddox changed the name on his ID here a while ago, but he says there's still one thing on it that doesn't reflect who he really is. For most of us, our biggest worry on our driver's license, a bad photo. But not for someone like Jay Maddox. He says there's anxiety every time he hands over his ID.
Whether it's, to pick up, a concert ticket, or whether it's when I'm traveling, or to show a driver's license to prove any purchase that I might have with my debit or credit card, I have a moment where I'm afraid.
Maddox is transgender, born female but identifies as male, something not reflected on his driver's license. And there's nothing he can do about it. That's because the state requires that a person's information on their driver's license match their birth certificate.
I'm stuck with a driver's license that doesn't match my identity.
The Secretary of State's office released a statement regarding the issue. The information listed in a driver's license and ID card must match the documents that are presented. If an individual presents the department with a birth certificate that reflects a change in the person's sex, the driver and the ID file would be changed to reflect that information. But that may change. 6 transgender people in Michigan are suing Secretary of State Ruth Johnson over the state's driver's license policy.
This lawsuit against the state of Michigan, I think, is long overdue.
Maddox says he hopes this lawsuit will encourage his home state to follow the lead of other states.
There are lots of states that don't require a person to prove having sex reassignment surgery prior to changing their driver's license. And Michigan could join those states and make the process easier so that trans people can live their authentic lives and have their documentation match their authentic selves.
Michigan is one of 15 states that requires a birth certificate change in order to make a change to an ID. Live in Kalamazoo, Cheri Hardmon, News Channel 3. High winds spark a grass fire claiming a West Michigan home, and it could have been avoided. The latest ahead in a live report. And the Tigers get ready to open the season tomorrow. Why the team is making some changes, plus what you need to know if you're heading to the game tomorrow in Detroit. And now that winter finally looks to be over, there are some new worries for people who suffer from allergies. What you need to know before the symptoms start.
Live, local, breaking news. This is News Channel 3, covering West Michigan, live at 6.
Hello, West Michigan. Thanks for joining us. I'm Cheri Hardmon. Brittany has the night off. We are following breaking news in Kalamazoo County's Texas Township. Crews have been battling a large fire near the KVCC campus. That's where we find News Channel 3's Lauren Springer. Lauren, what's going on there? A beautiful day in West Michigan this Easter, but will the sunshine and warmer temps stick around? Meteorologist Jeff Porter is in for Cindy tonight. Jeff, a Constantine home destroyed after a nearby grass fire spreads overnight due to high winds. The homeowner tells us it all started with a bonfire last night that wasn't completely put out. She says the sparks then spread to the grass, eventually traveling to her home. 5 cars and everything inside the home were also lost. The fire department was able to keep the fire from spreading, telling us this is not a new issue, saying it is important to use a garden hose to completely extinguish ashes because they are picked up by the wind and fire can spread quickly.
The wind will still light them up and blow them all over the place. We had another grass fire start from embers across the street. It's really dry right now, and you just got to be real careful.
The good news in all of this, the homeowner says she does have renter's insurance. Once again, this home is a total loss. West Michigan is celebrating Easter Sunday. West Michigan is celebrating after yesterday's Easter egg hunts and a visit from the Easter Bunny. Churches say they had big turnouts for services this morning. Of course, the Tigers have been to the postseason for the last 4 years, but getting to the 5th year might be a challenge for them, and they're making some changes, aren't they, Brian?
Yeah, they are, and you're right. It might be a little bit of a challenge.
We always love opening day.
It's like it's a new season, the smell of the grass, the fans are excited. Everybody's 0-0, so everybody's got equal chance to win the World Series. It's just exciting.
And I think they have some new food in the concession stand too. That's always
one of
good.
the best parts.
The Kalamazoo Board of Commissioners could approve a panel to address a $3 million budget deficit. At tomorrow night's meeting, the commissioners will vote on the creation of a 21-member blue ribbon panel of residents, business owners, and nonprofit leaders and educators to explore the city's options. Commissioners will be able to nominate representatives to the panel. The commission will also vote to approve funding for a professional to lead the panel. That meeting at City Hall begins at 7 p.m. Michigan State's season has sadly come to an end, and fans are, for the most part, taking it pretty well. Police arrested 7 people after State's 81-61 loss to Duke yesterday. Firefighters also responded to 10 fires. The Lansing State Journal reports that arrests were for disorderly conduct. The East Lansing police chief says the majority of fans handled their disappointment over the end of the Spartan season well. 2 people were also taken into custody for throwing lemons. Tomorrow is the last day to register for the Michigan Works Youth Job Fair coming to Calhoun County. The job fair is on Tuesday, April 14th from 4 to 7 p.m. at the Albion Fire Station on Clinton Street. Michigan Works says there are opportunities in the city of Albion for people between the ages of 16 and 24 years old. There are openings in several municipal departments. Again, tomorrow is the deadline to enroll. For more information, head to the links section of our website, wwmt.com. About 50 million Americans suffer from allergies, and thanks to the harsh winter we just had, this spring could be even worse. News Channel 3's Jessica Hardmon talked to a local allergist on the influx of people preparing for the pollen. Experts say if over-the-counter drugs aren't working, you should consult your family doctor first, then a specialist. Pope Francis is praising the nuclear deal between Iran and the U.S. and other powers, but some in Washington are criticizing it. Why they're saying it makes Iran dangerous.